They called me their mystery patient. I was very scared. I had some form of infection in my blood. So basically it was just trying to hold on to the boys, keep them in as long as I could. And I was scared. I really was. And I actually had that bad feeling that something bad was going to happen.
Crashing, hit a wall. Right now I need a miracle.
I was leaking, and it was amniotic fluid, and turns out it was Jackson's membrane that had ruptured. I didn't even know if I was going to make it, what was going to happen to me, what was going to happen to them. Were they going to make it? Was I going to lose both of them? They rushed me to the OR. After the twins were born, they had them out and intubated.
I need it, I need it, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now.
I could tell Jackson was more sick than Jeremiah. You could see it with his skin color.
Don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down.
Whatever blood infection that I had, he also got it. When that 5-day mark hit, I could see that Jackson kind of took a turn for the worse. Jackson had grade 4 brain hemorrhages on both sides of his brain. That is the worst possible brain hemorrhage you could have. As they were doing blood tests, they found out that he did not have the clotting factor in his blood. So unfortunately, the bleeding just didn't stop. He went into cardiac arrest, and so they were trying to revive him, and they did, but they had him bagged, and they were giving him air because he wasn't breathing. He said the chances of him surviving right now are like 1%. So I had to choose between making them work on him and continue to work on him, or to just stop. And after I got off the phone with my mom, I told him, I said, you can stop. The nurses were great. They took him out of his incubator, and they let me hold him. They let me be with him for as long as I wanted. I sat with him and held him. They didn't take him right away. They left him in the room because they were going to make my memory box for him. And honestly, it's an amazing thing for any parent that loses a child, for them to go out of their way making hand molds and molds of their feet, molds of his face, so you can remember him, not just with pictures, but with, real life molds. It's just amazing. And when I look at Jeremiah too, I see Jackson, because they were identical.
It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most.
He had the chronic lung disease. Jeremiah also had a grade 4 brain hemorrhage on the left side of his brain. And then he had a small, tiny grade 1 on the right side. Once I found out that he too had that grade 4 hemorrhage, I immediately thought, God, please don't let me lose him too. But he has the clotting factor in his blood, so the bleeding stopped. At that point, I knew he's gonna be okay. He's a fighter. Even though the tragedy of Jackson passing, I think that he gave Jeremiah his strength to pull through.
I need you right.
It amazes me how well they treat the patients, and not just the patients, but their families. They became my family away from my family. On the 1-year anniversary of Jackson's death, the NICU nurses actually sent me a card and wrote in there that Jackson will always be remembered, and he will. So Jeremiah's come a long way, and I have high hopes for him. He just amazes me every day.